In a vibrant valley where the sun painted the hills in shades of gold every morning, there lived a man named Elias. While the rest of the village hummed with the sound of hammers, spinning wheels, and the laughter of those tending to their fields, Elias was a silent shadow. He spent his days reclining under the ancient willow tree, eyes half closed, watching the world go by. He convinced himself that he was simply waiting for the right opportunity, a grand destiny that required no effort. He blamed the wind for being too cold, the sun for being too hot, and his neighbors for being too busy to notice his hidden potential. To Elias, work was a thief of time, and he was a master of holding on to his hours. One sultry afternoon, an old traveler with a silver beard and a coat made of 1,000 patches sat down beside him. The old man carried a heavy, weathered wooden chest that seemed to groan under its own weight. Elias, barely opening an eye, muttered, "Old man, why do you struggle so? Sit, the shade is free and the earth is soft. Why waste your strength on a box that brings you nothing but sweat?" The old man wiped his brow and smiled, his eyes twinkling with a strange, deep light. "This chest holds the golden seed of prosperity," he whispered. "I have traveled across 7 seas to find a man worthy of planting it. But alas, the journey is long, and my strength is failing. It must be planted at the summit of the gray crag by sunset, or it will wither forever." Elias felt a spark of greed ignite in his chest. Gold, he thought. Prosperity without years of toil. He stood up, his limbs stiff from months of inactivity. "Give it to me," Elias demanded. "I am young and strong. I will take it to the summit." The old man handed him the chest. It was heavier than any stone Elias had ever lifted. As he began to climb, his breath grew ragged, and his muscles screamed in protest. He wanted to drop the box and return to his shade, but the thought of the gold pushed him forward. He climbed through the briars, his hands becoming calloused and his clothes torn. For the first time in his life, Elias felt the fire of purpose. When he finally reached the summit, gasping for air as the sun dipped below the horizon, he threw open the chest. To his shock, it was empty, save for a small mirror at the bottom. Elias looked into the glass and saw a man he didn't recognize, a man with flushed cheeks, strong shoulders, and eyes full of life and determination. The old man appeared behind him, not tired at all. "The chest was never heavy because of gold, Elias," the sage said softly. "It was heavy because of the effort you refused to give. You were looking for wealth in the ground, but you found it in your own heartbeat. The man who sat under the willow tree is dead. The man standing on this mountain is finally alive." Elias looked at his rough hands and smiled. He realized that the greatest miracle wasn't a golden seed, but the realization that a life without labor is a life without flavor. From that day on, the valley no longer had a lazy man. It had a builder, a dreamer, and a man who knew that the view from the top is only beautiful because of the climb.